All the American men that are so unhappy with dating modern women because they're gold diggers and they're manipulative and they don't really care about y'all as men, they don't really care about your little feelings. Well, I have terrible news for you. It's only about to get worse. Like, y'all don't know how good you had it actually, because y'all about to run straight into face to face with the consequences of your own actions. Because apparently women are a lot nicer in gender equal countries. And since we as a country are moving further and further and further and further away from that, you can apparently expect to see more Machiavellian dark triad traits in women. If y'all thought women were gold diggers before, if y'all thought women were unloyal before, if y'all thought women were heartless before, and they had really high expectations before, you are in for a whole different breed of women. Y'all have no idea what the fuck is coming to you. The thing about evolution is it's extremely adaptable. And we've noticed that there's already been this rise in Black Widow mentality, right? The girls are listening to Shira 7, and they're basically coming to think of men in the same way that men think of us women, as resources. And guess what? Even though men do this to us every day, they think of and treat us like resources, they get real fucking mad when we treat them the same way. They like really hate it. It's actually their least favorite reverse Uno move of all time. They literally hate it when women treat men the same way that men treat women, which is transactionally, based on looks, based on what they bring to the table, based on if there's no other better options available to them. Men often make this projection about women that women are monkey branchers, like they go from like a good man to a better man to a better man to a better man. But I've actually never seen a woman do that in real life. Actually only ever seen men do that. Like they just keep getting with younger and younger women as they keep getting older and older, because they think that's what makes them look better in the eyes of others, which is the literal definition of like monkey branch, trying to go up and up and up and up. But we might see women doing that a lot more often now. I think men have fucked around and they're about to find out. The study basically found that while men's Machiavellian tendencies remain stable regardless of national gender equality, women were less likely to endorse such traits in more egalitarian societies. And this shouldn't be surprising at all, because when you are deprived of resources as a woman, you start to think in terms of resources only, right? Anytime that you are constrained as a living organism on something, it actually has the opposite effect, right? While men think that taking women's rights away is going to make women like softer and more malleable, and they're looking forward to the days where every man had a wife and every home was traditional, the women just like stayed home and cooked and cleaned, and they think that this is the kind of age that they're ushering in. They're actually ushering in a very different kind of age where while women may be forced to outwardly comply to those kind of new societal standards, what's going to happen on the inside is that women are going to become ruthless. Back when women were subdued by their husbands, back when women were in these traditional roles, a lot of people underestimate how much crazy shit these women were doing behind closed doors, and how abusive and Machiavellian their tendencies got behind closed doors. And I mean, you can really see this in shows like Mad Men. You can really see these kind of mentalities in other countries. Like, for example, I grew up in the ruins of the USSR. Women fucking hated men. Let me just say that. Because things were so unequal and so lopsided, and the men were not stepping up at all in society, women had a very negative opinion of men. And the fact that men ain't shit was taught to me from a very young age. And I actually watched a lot of my mom's friends like marry men and then just hate them the whole time. And they made these men's lives miserable by all means. And those men just stayed and stuck around because they didn't know any life skills for themselves. So at least they had like home cooked meals and stuff, but these women legit hated them. Would never miss out on a chance to like put them down or publicly humiliate them or whatever. And coming to America was a very different picture because, you know, people's rights were getting sort of evened out. And so I was really surprised by how much women here really deferred to men and like seemed to have this like huge respect of men. It was really weird to me, but now it makes sense because this was a place where gender roles were kind of finally starting to equalize. And now that we're moving backwards from that, this is why women are taking a special interest in things like Shira 7's advice, in just general sort of financial arrangement advice. This is why there's more OnlyFans models. It's because women's survival instincts are kicking on. At this point, if we're not equal in society, that means all men are the enemy, and we need to learn how to use and manipulate them as resources. Men create this for themselves by taking our rights away. The only thing we're doing in this case is trying to survive. The study said in countries with lower levels of gender equality, women tended to score higher on Machiavellianism, potentially reflecting an increased reliance on manipulative strategies to navigate restrictive or resource-scarce environments. By contrast, in more gender-equal society, women's scores dropped, suggesting that increased access to resources and opportunities may reduce the perceived need for such tactics. Men's scores, however, remained largely unaffected by changes in gender equality, highlighting a potential difference in how societal structures influence Machiavellian traits across genders. They said intuitively one might expect that increasing gender equalities would reduce differences between men and women. However, this study demonstrates the opposite. These results align with the gender equality paradox, which has previously been observed in other psychological domains, such as personality traits and career preferences. The paradox suggests that as societies become more egalitarian, men and women may feel freer to express their intrinsic tendencies, leading to larger sex differences rather than diminishing them. To me, honestly, the biggest thing this speaks to is that when women feel safe, they don't feel the need to act as deranged as men do on a regular basis. That's it. That's all there is to it. And when women feel unsafe, they feel the need to sort of match men's degeneracy by also becoming very manipulative and dark triad oriented, and use these Machiavellian tendencies in order to manipulate their environment to make it safer. But when women feel safe in the first place, they feel absolutely no need to be pieces of shit. For men, apparently, it makes absolutely no difference. I hope you enjoyed the study as much as I did. I'll see you next time. Godspeed.